to be under the sea, in an octopus's garden with you.
The thing I love about this segment is I can actually dive through all the key points in Sydney and not actually get wet. And in fact, if I go to the Underwater Gazette Facebook page, I can see amazing critters. Some octopi were featured last week, and go and have a look. You can go to places like Bear Island, Manly Cove, Kurnell. But where are these places? Well, Marco Bordieri from the Sydney Underwater Gazette Facebook page and Viz joins me. How are you this morning, Marco?
I'm very well. Good morning, Simon.
It's 18 degrees in the water at the moment. So I thought, and you thought, which I think was great, was why not take everybody diving without having to leave the lounge room?
Yeah, that's it. There are so many opportunities to dive in Sydney, and the water is 18 degrees. You may need a little bit of a wetsuit, but you may also be planning for where to go when the weather hits up later during the year.
And over the next couple of weeks, we're going to go to places like Kurnell. Bear Island, I think, is a magical place. But let's start with the old CTB, as you guys call it.
Yes, that's the Cabbage Tree Bay Aquatic Reserve, which is in Manly.
And it's sort of one of those beaches or one of those areas where you sort of know where it is once you know it's Shelley Beach or Manly, but Cabbage Tree Bay is the aquatic reserve there, isn't it?
Yes, we like to refer as the Cabbage Tree Bay Aquatic Reserve, just to remind everybody and ourselves that is an aquatic reserve. So it's quite a special place. It's a no-take reserve, which means that you're not permitted to fish, destroy marine life, feed marine life, collect any organism, whether it's a shell or anything. And we have been seeing since 2002, the fish population has been growing steadily.
Interesting, you're not allowed to feed them.
Yeah, there is it's interesting. One of the species that you may come across, well, you surely come across, is the blue grouper.
Yes.
It's this lovely big fish, and they often come close to you, very inquisitive. Now, you may wonder what they want. The thing is that there has been a practice in the past to feed them, to break a sea urchin open, and to offer to the blue grouper, which literally loves the content of the sea urchin, but because of the spikes, normally they don't break them. Now, the blue grouper can live 35 years, and the marine reserve is only 20 years old. So the groupers still must have some memory of this practice when they come to you, because for the last 20 years, it has been forbidden and people have not been doing that any longer.
Later on, we'll find out what other creatures are in the Cabbage Tree Bay area. But let's go back to the basics. It's got a very unique orientation in the coast of Sydney.
Yeah, that's a blessing, because all the bays of the Sydney region are open to east, southeast. So there is frequently swell coming from that direction. And in that case, the only place where you can dive or snorkel or swim is actually Cabbage Tree Bay, because it's open, it's directed due west. So it's literally the only one that is protected. And clearly there is no swell coming from west, because, there is Australia on that side. So it's not only the only option in the worst possible condition. If you really want to get into the water, you can always go there, and it's normally quite protected.
Am I going to snorkel, or am I going to scuba, or am I going to both?
You can do everything. You can swim, snorkel, scuba. The reason is that it's very shallow. It can be like between 2 and 6 meters on one side, on the west side. So snorkelers always can see anything on the ground, on the floor, unless there are very bad conditions for the visibility. If you go on the other side, on the east side, it's a bit deeper. So that may make the scuba divers, the one that goes a bit deeper, happy. It's also a great place for a night dive, because you just park, you walk down, you set up your gear, you go diving, it's protected. Anywhere in the bay, you are not far from the coast, because it's quite a closed bay. And you find all the array of marine life that are out are hunting at that time of the day.
We mentioned the blue groper, but there's 369 other fish species that could be in there.
Yeah, it's a huge variety, 370 overall. And it's probably not the place where you go for macro life. Some people like to find nudibranchs, which are like sea slugs, very small. That's not probably the place for small things. You find big things beside the blue grouper that we've been mentioning. You find the Port Jackson sharks. They are going to arrive in about 1 month. They're normally in the winter month. Giant cuttlefish just arrived last month, and they are very active. They come to breed. We got the sea turtles. There are actually at least one resident sea turtles that has been there for like 4 years. That doesn't mean that you go there and you see her, because you have to be lucky. But at least one of them is there on most days. We got the dusky whaler sharks. They are probably still in the bay for a few days. Normally they live in winter time. Grainer sharks that are also appearing more and more in the last 2 years. Wobbegong, eagle rays, the lovely weedy sea dragons that are like big seahorses.
Yeah.
But just even more beautiful. There were many of them till 2022 last year, because then there was this big swell and many of them has been washed ashore, but there are still a couple of them at least.
And this green coral as well?
Yeah, that's the southernmost, it's called Posilopora liche. It's the southernmost instance of this coral in the world. It's been pushed across the last 10 years south and south and south for global warming. And that's the only place, or one of the few places where you can see easily. It's quite interesting. And the last one, we found the Goggles graveyard, which is a place in the middle of the bay where for some reason there is some current. So everybody, whenever anyone loses any goggles, they end up there. And if you go there, you can literally find 20 of them any time of the year.
Goggles graveyard. We're out of the season where the tropical fish visit. And it's not just the marine life that people can see there. It's a nice place to visit as well.
Well, that's what I love. Every time I go there, I feel like I'm on holidays because of the palm trees. It's very relaxed. There is this special vibe. Cafe, rock pool. There is a nearby parking lot. Well, in summertime, it's a bit hard to find the spot, but picnic tables, benches, you can walk to North Head. It's just a lovely place.
It is a lovely place. There's an underwater map of Cabbage Tree Bay on the viz.net.au website. And if we are going out today, what's it like, Marco?
The conditions are still very good. There is a visibility reported between 6 and 8 meters. As I said, 18 degrees. You may need a little bit of a wetsuit. In the harbor, Chowder Bay, also known as Clifton Gardens, has got a great 6 to 7 meters visibility reported last night. So plenty of options.
Well, you have a great day out on the water. If you can't get out of the water, check viz.net.au or the Sydney Underwater Gazette on the Facebook page. Ci vediamo, ragazzi.
A presto, Simon.